All right, joining us now on Zero Block 30 is a very interesting guest. As of July 31st, it became available for college athletes to start to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. This has been a heated debate for a long time now, many years, and it finally came to fruition that NIL was a go. So, of course, in typical Barstool fashion, we jumped in with no plan. Dave made an announcement via Instagram and Twitter that said, I don't know what this is going to be, but we are starting Barstool Athletes, Inc., and we are going to represent college athletes. And joining me now is one of those athletes, Jonathan Shuskey. Jonathan, welcome to Zero Block 30.
Man, I can't tell you how cool it is to be on here with you guys. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jonathan is not your typical college athlete, college freshman. I don't want to age shame, but I think it is out there that you are 39 years old because before going to college, you served in the military for 20 years. So number one, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Number two, how is it that you got to be in the military as an infantryman?
Well, so first of all, it's generally when people see me and I tell them I'm a college athlete, like it's obvious that I'm a little bit older than the average college athlete. But then, like, if you look behind me, like my bed's nice and made, and
yes,
and so I'm married. Like another difference than the normal college athlete. Like I'm not making the bed like that. No, I joined the Army. I actually, it all really happened fast. I walked into a recruiter's office on August the 27th. And then on September the 4th of 2001, I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, and ready to go. I just made the decision. I said, I'm going to go do this. At the time, it was like a $20,000 bonus to join the infantry. And you know, the recruiters gave me the whole, you know, playing video games in the barracks, shoot stuff, blow stuff up, all that stuff. And then exactly 1 week later, you know, the entire world changed, and so did all of my plans. And so yeah, I mean, that's how I ended up in the Army as an infantryman. I was lied to. No,
no, I mean, that's a common story when we talk about recruiters. So did you plan to just join for maybe your initial recruitment contract and then do something else after those first few years?
Yeah, I mean, so I initially enlisted for 5 years, and the plan was I was going to do that 5 years, and then I was going to be gone. My dad owned a business at home in North Carolina, and the plan had kind of always been for me to at some point go to work for him and kind of take that over. And I did my first deployment in Afghanistan in 2004, and I actually re-enlisted while I was there because I was just mad. Like, I think the longer after 9/11, I think, like, not deploying right away, I didn't really grasp what we were doing over there. When I actually got there the first time, that's when it really hit me, and I said, like, this is A, worth doing, and B, like, there have to be people like me that are willing to do it. So I re-enlisted there in Afghanistan during that first deployment. And I think I knew, and I think even my dad knew that at that point, like, it was like, you're probably going to stick around and do this thing for the long haul. So, and it didn't hurt that I was stationed in Hawaii, and when I re-enlisted, they said, "Hey, we'll let you stay in Hawaii." I ended up deploying again from there, but yeah, when you're not deployed and you're stationed in Hawaii, that's a pretty solid gig.
I'd say so. So you were with 25th ID in Hawaii there?
Yep, I was with 25th ID, 2-5 Infantry, which I believe 2-5 Infantry went away for a while and then moved, I think, to maybe Fort Hood or wherever they're at now. And then also spent some time with the Golden Dragons over in 114 and in the other brigade right across the street there.
Wow. So yeah, you mentioned kind of you re-enlist. So you re-enlisted for what, another 5 years?
I did. And then we left Hawaii. I met my wife. My wife was active duty for quite a while, a little over 11 years total. Met her there, and we got married. We ended up going to Fort Campbell, where I became a Rakkasan. a couple of more deployments, re-enlisted again while I was there at Fort Campbell, and that was the big one. That was the in-depth re-enlistment, and you're going till at least 20 at that point. But I tell folks all the time, like my reasons for re-enlisting changed every time I re-enlisted. Like that first time, it was because I was angry and I wanted to go back there again. The second time I re-enlisted, like my wife and I had just gotten married, and we've got kids, and now you're thinking about job security and that kind of thing, because it thinks back to like that second re-enlistment for me was in 2009-10 time frame, and like economically we weren't in the greatest of places
right.
in the country. So you're talking about an infantry guy that's got to go find a job somewhere, and the prospects aren't great. So and then that last re-enlistment, I'm at like 11 years or 12 years or whatever it is, and now you're thinking long term. You're thinking, well, man, if you can do this for another 7 or 8 years and have that check coming there, and so I mean it's the reasons changed every time. The other thing I tell folks is like I've got a lot of respect for people who have joined the military post 9/11, because I tell folks all the time, and I'm not ashamed to say this, if I had waited an extra week, I've got no idea whether or not I would have actually gone through with it.
Sure, and that's fair.
Yeah, and so I have a lot of respect for anybody that joined the military and served post 9/11, because every one of those people knew exactly what they were signing up for, knew exactly what they were getting into. So yeah, 20 years. I think we're like 24 days away from signing out on terminal leave. So I'm pretty
wow!
pumped.
So you're still technically in the Army right now.
Right now, yeah, I am. And here's the really cool thing about the college golf thing is I'm going to sign out on terminal leave on August the 1st. My retirement's not official until September 30th. So for those first couple of months I'm playing college golf, I'm actually still going to be active duty while I'm doing it. So.
Oh yeah, well, of course. So you got the terminal leave, banked. So that's pretty great. And I absolutely appreciate that. As you get older, you mature, your reasons change, and I totally respect. It's just smart to stay for the 20 at that point to just get that retirement. So it makes a lot of sense. So you're getting closer to the 20-year mark. Did you always know you wanted to go back and get a college degree, or was that just something that as you got closer to 20, you thought, all right, this makes sense to go do this. I have a family, and to increase my prospects, maybe I should just go get a college degree.
Yeah, I think, my wife works, she's still a DOD civilian. And I think as we were getting closer to time, well, really what my plan was, I was going to go get a degree, but my plan originally was to go and do the PGA's golf management program, which I think they've got like 18 universities across the country that do that. And I was going to try to do that. It's about 5 hours away at Mississippi State. I was playing on the All-Army golf team in 2019, and I had a conversation with a Marine that I was playing with that particular day, and we were talking about all that stuff. And he said, they'll let you play college golf while you do that program. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, man, I don't think I can play college golf. I'm going to be 38, 39 years old, whatever. And he said, you should go look into it. He said, I think that's different if you've served in the military, like your time kind of stops from military service or whatever. So I did. I went and looked into it, and when I found out that I could play college golf, that's what, like, the conversation became a little different. I was like, I think I'm just going to go back to school and not do the PGA thing right away, and I'm just going to go enjoy the college golf part and get my degree that way. So it was kind of an evolution. But yeah, I mean, probably 3 years ago, we really started having that conversation about going back to school and doing that. And it's evolved over these last couple of years to, going to CBU and going to go tee it up here in a few weeks.
Very cool. So you're kind of like Rodney Dangerfield, back to school, although, you seem like a nice family man. So I don't know if you'll get crazy like he did in that movie. But so did you play golf just all growing up and in high school? Or you certainly didn't just, or maybe you did. How long had you been playing golf that you thought, okay, I could at least go play on the All-Army golf team? And how do you become a member of the All-Army golf team?
I'll start with, so I started playing golf when I was probably 12 years old. and I had no instruction. There was a group of guys that I went to church with that played golf after church on Sundays, and I wanted to go and do it. So my dad bought me a set of pawn shop golf clubs, and they were too big for me. They were crappy golf clubs, but I made it work. And I went out and just started trying to figure it out. Didn't play high school golf. I was probably good enough while I was in high school to play college golf. I just didn't think I was good enough, honestly, and just didn't really think I fit in with my hand-me-down clubs or whatever. And so, and then joined the Army, and honestly didn't pick up a golf club from the time I joined the Army until probably sometime in like 2008 that's when I picked up a club again. When I felt like I was good enough to go play on the All Army team was probably 2010, 11 while we were at Fort Campbell, and I applied for the program. And anybody that's active duty, guard, reserves, anybody can apply to do it. You just go onto it's on the MWR website, and they've got you'll see the All Army Sports link, and they've got so many different sports. There's like boxing and wrestling and soccer and rugby and softball and all this stuff. But you really you go on there and apply, and you kind of you give them a resume of kind of your experience playing, and so like if you've got college experience or played in high school, stuff like that, you put all that on there, any tournaments or anything that you've won. And so I applied in 2010 and 2011 and didn't get accepted. I was deployed in 2012 and then applied again in 2013 and didn't get accepted. And I was really pissed off that I didn't get accepted that last time. So I sent an email to the contacts for the All Army Golf Program. And the email basically said, I don't know why you're not inviting me, but if you invite me to play, like, I'm going to win this thing.
What kind of handicap are you carrying at that point?
At that point, I was about scratch, maybe a 1. So I was a solid player. He sent me an email back literally 30 minutes later and was like, hey, you're going to get an email confirmation, like you're going to come and play. And so I went there to Fort Jackson. I met him the night before the All Army, like the trial thing started. And he basically told me while we were in that little team meeting thing or whatever, he was like, hey, if you don't win, if you don't make it on the team, I'll never invite you back again. And so I won. And so, yeah, and I was able to do that a couple more times. But, like that's probably when I was at Fort Campbell. That's when I felt like, I can hang, like I can go and compete. Like I'm not just playing on Saturdays with my buddies and having a beer anymore. Like I think I can go and do
I mean, I'd say, yeah, if you're scratch, you're a little bit more than just a casual recreational weekend golfer. Who do you compete against? Because I know, like with the All Army, I know some people who do All Army in other sports. The prospect of the Olympics has always been there. And I guess now with the golf too, that prospect is there outside of the pros that we send. But who do you compete against and what do you do as part of the All Army golf team?
So, so to make the All Army team, you're competing against other, guys in the Army, obviously. I'll give you an example. A guy named Chris Irwin was on the team with me in 2019. And if you follow, there's an account on Twitter. It's one of my favorite golf accounts, Monday Q Info. And he's talked about Chris quite a bit. Chris is a professional golfer now that served in the Army, and we played together on the team in 2019. So it's not an easy team to make. Like guys like him, like he's a great player. Once you make the team, like the top 6 guys and the top 3 females make the team. And then you compete in the Armed Forces Championship. It's that very next week. And so you compete against the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force teams. And from that tournament, they take the top 6 from the Armed Forces Championship. And those 6 players go on and play in it's like a kind of like a world military games kind of thing. And they go and compete as, Team USA. So it's a really cool experience. And, to anybody that's watching that's active duty or guard, reserve, whatever, whether it's golf or any other sport, like go check that program out. It's really worth doing. It's not one of those things like a lot of people ask like, oh, so that was your job. No, you literally just go TDY for a couple of weeks and do it. And then you come right back and And
Oh,
boy, that
okay.
first day
So
back at work as an infantryman is rough, but it's
that's what I was going to say. Did any of your infantry buddies give you a hard time? They're sleep out in the field and you're playing 18 in Hawaii.
yeah. So like I was part of the SDAB here at Fort Benning, the first SDAB here in 2019 when I went and played on the team, and we had just gotten back from a deployment, and the guys were already in train up mode or whatever. So I got to go and do all Army. It was like May of 2019, and yeah, they gave me. I got a lot of grief when I came back from that about how hard they'd been working, and I was on vacation in Arizona playing golf or whatever. So. But yeah, it's definitely worth doing though, and all it takes is like you go in there and do the application, and your commander, they send him a link and he approves it, and you're on your way. So
well, I mean that's awesome, and the fact that you are as talented as you are, being self-taught, is certainly something very special, and you clearly just have some God-given ability, because I've been playing the game for 25 years, and I'm not bad, but I'm not scratch. And I'll say that. You think you do something for 25 years, you'd be really good at it, but that's not the case. As you know, this is a very tough game. So, okay. So you're getting ready to get out of college. Did you contact a coach at your college and say, hey, I want to be part of the golf team? Or did he recruit you because he knew you were coming?
Well, so it actually kind of is a little bit of both. So initially I just sent some emails to some college coaches. I actually started right here up the road from Fort Benning at Columbus State University. That was the first email I sent, and I got an email back, and they were very nice and polite in the email, but essentially they told me that they thought I was crazy, and I got that response from a few different places, and so I started talking to some folks that I knew, and I got in contact with a guy named Lance Ringler who works at Golf Week. And I ran what I was trying to do past him. He said, hey, let me get back to you in a couple of days and let me see what I can brainstorm or whatever. And he literally messaged me back like 2 hours later and said, what if we just do a story about it? And I said, yeah, I'm game. Let's do it. And so Golf Week ends up writing a piece about what I'm trying to go do. And within like 48 to 72 hours, I had like 40 or 50 golf coaches that were in my inbox and asking me about playing college golf or how could they help or whatever. So Coach Bryce, he was one of those there at Christian Brothers University. He emailed me, or I think he sent me a message on Twitter or whatever it was, and we talked a little bit. And like I said, I had a lot of contact with a lot of different coaches. But last fall and going into the winter, I didn't play very good golf. I went and played some tournaments and didn't play very well. And some of those phone calls and messages and stuff kind of dried up a little bit. And Coach Bryce, like, he never wavered at all. He was like, hey man, like, we want you to come be part of the team. I want you to be here. And I tell folks, I've said this a few times, like, finding somebody that believes in you when maybe you don't believe in yourself a whole lot at the time is a big deal. And that went a long way with me. And so I remember, like, signing day fell on Veterans Day this past year. And I called him up a couple of weeks before that and told him I wanted to commit. And then, we did the signing day there on November 11th, just, right here at my home club, and we were off and running. So yeah, it was a little bit of both. Like, I reached out to some folks and they basically laughed at me. And then, Golf Week stepped in and helped me out a little bit. And then, kind of flipped the roles a little bit. I got to listen to them kind of woo me a little bit.
No, and that's fantastic. And I mean, so much of the game is between the ears. So it's great that your coach had the foresight to just stick it out and stick with you and stay behind you and stay committed to you. And I think that's just that's absolutely fantastic. And certainly it's not like he's, giving you charity. You're an actual legit, very good golfer. So he's getting a good golfer on his team. So it's not as if, he's just taking up a spot that he should be giving to somebody else. So we're going out on terminal leave. We're getting ready to play college golf. How the heck did it come about that you became a Barstool Athlete?
Oh man. So I'm like anybody else that follows, like, I watch college sports and I love college football, basketball, all that stuff. And so I've obviously followed the NIL stuff for a
Mm-hmm.
while, not just recently, like as it pertains to me, but I've been, following this thing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so on July 1st, I kind of knew that the floodgates were going to open, and I was really interested to see how this whole thing played out. And it never crossed my mind, honestly, that like I had joked about it with some folks, whatever, but never crossed my mind that some, going to play Division II golf, like that it could turn into a thing for me. And so I saw Riggs posted about a couple of Barstool athletes, a couple of golfers that they had signed like that first day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the video from
Dave.
El Presidente
Mm-hmm.
About the first Barstool athlete and all that stuff. And I said, there's got to be something to this. Let me go try. And so I remember I retweeted Riggs once and nothing really. And so I posted a tweet, and now that I think back, it's like it's so, geez, it's like it's such a jerk move, I guess. But I remember I tweeted, imagine being the company that signs a 20-year vet to an endorsement or whatever on July 4th weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, probably 15 minutes later, I get a retweet from Riggs, and he was like, "Hey, Stafford, I want you on the team." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what just happened?" And so over the course of that day, like I messaged with him a little bit, and then they posted the picture on Instagram and Twitter and the announcement and all that stuff, and then got an email from Dave on Saturday about how they're kind of going forward or whatever, and so it happened super fast and honestly caught me off guard a little bit. But it's been awesome, man. Like I'm trying to follow as many of the Barstool athletes as I can and kind of get that little, that circle,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the other golfers. Like, I've already had some conversations with some of the other Barstool golfers now, and we've been kind of talking about ideas and things that we might want to pitch to you guys about stuff to do. Like, I know I talked with one guy earlier today, and he said, what if like next summer we did a Barstool athlete golf tournament, like where all the Barstool golfers come and play a tournament, like maybe you pair like one guy and one girl together and do like some sort of team thing or whatever it is, and do that with the guys over at Foreplay or whatever. And
I tell you, I know Riggs really well now. That's probably going to happen. That's probably going to happen.
But I'll tell you this. So like somebody asked me, they were like, so why did you just say yes? Like you didn't think about it at all. And here's why I didn't. I remember a couple months ago when the NCAA regional tournament in Baton Rouge got canceled, the
Mm-hmm.
ladies tournament.
Yep.
And I remember what Riggs and those guys did. Like literally overnight, they created a golf tournament. They worked it with the NCAA, that everything was legit. And I've talked to people that said that event was just incredible. And so I've told those people, I was like, I don't know that anybody at Barstool really knew what the plan was. Dave admitted as much. But I knew that once they got all their ducks in a row, it was going to be worth being a part of. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why like there was zero hesitation on my end. I just said yes. And we'll figure out the details later.
Right. We don't do things in a traditional way in any thing that we do, but ultimately it ends up working out well because we'll put, smart people behind all of this and they'll get it figured out to where it's something very productive for all of the athletes. And I mean, obviously your story by itself, 20-year veteran, 39-year-old college freshman, it's a match made in heaven between Barstool and yourself. And it's the type of story that we're always going after. So I think it was destined to happen. You told me earlier, you've had some other people reaching out to you as well. And I don't know if you're at liberty to say who, but what has it kind of been like since July 1st? I know it's July 7th, but what has the last 6 days been like in terms of now you are somebody that can make money off of your name, image, and likeness?
Well,
in addition to the Barstool stuff.
Yeah, well, so really for me and any other college golfer, really just yesterday we found out that we could kind of take part in the monetization part anyway, because golf's a little bit different than every other sport. Like we've got another governing body, which is the USGA, and they determine all the amateurism rules and stuff like that. So So yesterday they made it official that, hey, we're gonna let college golfers take part in that too. But yeah, I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of different folks. Like there's a coffee company that I'm talking to right now, and we're trying to figure things out. I've got a phone call tomorrow with another group that I'm not really at liberty to talk
That's
about
okay,
just yet, but no, it's been, and again, going back to like why do you say yes to Barstool without putting any thought into it is, the other part is, like, people are asking, like, well, what are you getting out of the Barstool thing? And I said, I don't care if they don't send me anything. The fact that they're, like, on their platforms, they're putting my name on all this stuff. I said, man, like, think about how many millions of people see that, and how, like, just growing your brand and kind of marketing yourself, and they're willing to do it for you. Like, why would you turn that down? So,
right.
So yeah, it's been, the last few days have been pretty cool. I think the tweet that Riggs sent out, like, my phone, I had to change my notifications on Twitter a little bit. I didn't know how all that worked exactly. And my phone, like, my battery went from 100 to like 24% in a matter of like an hour and a half. So yeah, I reworked some settings so I don't get just every notification anymore. And but yeah, it's been kind of nuts, man.
You know what? No, I think it's going to be a fun ride for you. I think it's awesome. I think you should take not just you, every Barstool athlete and every college athlete should take full advantage, and whatever that looks like, whether it's a coffee company, your local dry cleaners, a car dealership, whatever. I think it's fantastic. And I'm interested, just as a fan of college sports, to watch it all play out and see what happens. And, as somebody who served our country for 20 years, I wish you nothing but the best with this moving forward. You certainly have ZBT in your corner in addition to foreplay. I don't know if you're a Barstool athlete, you're a foreplay athlete. I might just claim you right now and make you a ZBT athlete too. So you got a few brands behind you underneath the Barstool umbrella. But we're super proud of you, and I think that's awesome. And I wish you all the best moving forward.
I appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for having me on. When I got that message from you, I was, really, like the last 5 days, I was just floored. I couldn't believe it. So I appreciate you guys having me, and thanks for chatting with me a little bit.
Absolutely. We'll be keeping an eye on you. And again, thank you for your service. Best of luck as you start your college journey here in a few weeks.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Great.